Welcome to Street Sense, where I share with you uncommon wisdom tips to help you succeed in your finances, career, business, and relationships. My name is Maxwell Mensah. You can call me Talent Man. On this episode, I'm going to calm down our nerves a bit. We are going to have fun a bit. We're going to just vibe a bit. We're going to just play around a bit. So I'm sharing with you 7 interesting scenes from Money Heist. 7 interesting scenes from Money Heist. For those of you who are Money Heist watchers or lovers or fans, you know that season 5 is in, and Charlie, the hype is worth it. You know, the wait has been worth it. But sadly, with the way season 5 first batch of episodes came, Charlie, it looks like I don't want to say it has, but it looks like Tokyo has been killed. It looks like Tokyo has been killed. We are just hoping that when the next batch drops, I think in December or so, is it November or December, when it drops, I'm hoping that probably she wouldn't have died the way we thought she died. But right now, from where they left us, it looks as though Tokyo is dead. And I wasn't happy at all. The way the thing happened, I think I cried. I cried. I actually cried. There's been 2 moments in Money Heist where I shed a few tears. The first one was when Nairobi died. The thing really pained me. I'm going too much into it. So let's get into it. But before I get into it, I want to urge you, kindly subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment for me, and share the video so others can come and watch what you've been watching on my channel. So 7 interesting scenes from Money Heist. Charlie, Money Heist is a B. Money Heist is a B. From a series that began on a very low note that I heard they were not getting good ratings. People were not really watching it when they released the season 1. I think the season 2. All of a sudden becoming so popular. Everyone's talking about Money Heist. I'm told on Netflix is one of the top 3 most watched episodes, or one of the top 3 most viewed episodes or series on Netflix. That should tell you the success you're having. And the characters are all enjoying so much fame and so much, good things, all because of Money Heist. Interesting things that happen that I'm sure you may have seen. Something you may not really have paid attention to. I'm going to bring attention to it. The first one is Arturo not ready to accept Monica's pregnancy. Hey, Arturito. Married man, you have a wife at home, and you are still sleeping with your secretary in the office. And this one, it looks like it's only Arturo who does it, but he's not the only one. There are so many men right now who are doing the same thing. Their wives are home, and in their offices, they are sleeping with their secretaries, with their subordinates, with their who. And they wish it will continue forever. But just imagine you who is doing the same thing. If it should happen to you in your real life now, someone should come and there should be a heist at your company right now. Do you think? Hey, let's not talk about heist happening right now. But then Arturo not being ready to accept Monica's pregnancy should tell you about how my gender we are, the male gender. The male gender, they just want the sex part. When the responsibility comes, then some of them want to wait for the responsibility, run away from you. So ladies, before you give in to any guy, be sure that the guy is really, really ready for you, or the guy is really, really into you. Else, just like Arturo did to Monica, promising her, blah, 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 telling her all the issues he was having with his wife. And there was one thing he said, yeah, he's having issues with his wife, but it doesn't mean he wants to divorce her or something. They're having problems just like any other marriage does. But then, of course, he was telling her just to make her feel special so he can have his way with her. Now, after having his way with her, when the pregnancy came, you see he's running away. My gender, fear them. The next one is professor's attention to details. Professor's attention to details. Professor is one of the most formidable characters in Money Heist. And I must say, in any series that we have all watched, whether it is Prison Break, Empire, 24, name them, Protector, all those series, Power, all those. I think Professor's attention to details is top notch. I can compare Professor to maybe say Michael Scofield in Prison Break, or Raymond Reddington in what was it? Blacklist. In Blacklist, those 3 characters, Professor, Michael Scofield, Raymond Reddington, hey, their attention to details. I mean, the way they can map out a whole plan and execute it, no matter the changes that come, they know the plan they are going in for. If plan A fails, there's plan B. Plan B fails, there's plan C. They pay attention to details. Professor was one of such people. He was so detailed about everything he was doing. He knows what happiness, and there are times when he says, in case this plan doesn't work, move to the next option. This doesn't work, move to. So it's like there's always a contingency for whatever happens. Professors attend to details, and I'm sure you can learn from that too in your own life. Learn to pay attention to details about your life, about your career, about your relationship, about your marriage, about your finances. Learn to pay details. Learn to pay attention to details that concern your life or to your dear ones. It is very important. Look at the way when they got to the part where they were nearly caught, and they had, the police had to go to the place where they had gone to damn the car, where Helsinki failed to have them destroy the car. Professor disguised himself, went in there, and went to actually wipe out all the fingerprints on the car. And he was even smart enough to leave the button from Berlin's jacket just to find a way to give, at least to turn their attention to something else around the whole thing. Attention to details. You can learn that from Professor. The next thing that happened, interesting thing that happened in Money Heist, was Tokyo's fearlessness. Tokyo's fearlessness. I think after Professor, one of the characters that I really love was Tokyo, and I believe we all love Tokyo. Tokyo is so fearless. She wants to do the thing, and she goes and she gets it done. She gets it done. I mean, one of the most fearless things she did was when she actually when Berlin sacrificed her. Let me say sacrifice. When Berlin sacrificed her and put her on the trailer with the money, and then just pushed her out of the royal mint of Spain, and then she got into the hands of the policemen. Blah blah blah. When she was later rescued by the people who had already been assigned by Professor, when she was rescued, and then she now had a way out of the people's grips. Now she had an option to return to the Professor, but she couldn't get through to the Professor. And the only option that came to her mind, which I would have never thought of that, if I was in the shoes, it would have never come to mind. But the only thing that came to her mind was to ride back into the royal mint. I mean, how should I say foolish? How foolish could you have been? You get to escape and then you go back into it. See, can you imagine the courage it took for her to take such a move, ride her motor through the police, and the police too, I don't know whether to say they were foolish or they were naive or they were just incompetent. You couldn't get a shot at her, and she was able to ride all the way, and you were all just behind her trying to shoot. I think they were trying to shoot at her. They couldn't even get through to her, and she rode all the way back into the bank. How? So Tokyo's fearlessness, one of the things that happened in Money Heist that I think was quite interesting, and you can learn from it in your own life. Learn to be fearless about some things. It's not everything that you need to be so critical and so careful. Sometimes take the risk. Whatever happens will happen. As far as you won't die, take the risk. Even with that, Tokyo could have died, but she still took the risk. Look at how she and Rio were sneaking to make love, to have their own love affair. When Professor had told them there should be no relationship between any of them, she and Tokyo still denied disobeyed the instructions and were sneaking out to make love all the time, even though they were unaware that Berlin used to see them when they were going out to make love. Hey, this world. Next one was Nairobi empowering the governor's daughter. I think it was in season 1 episode 10 or so, or season 2 episode 10. Season 1 episode 10 thereabouts. Nairobi found herself with the governor's daughter, or was it the president's daughter, and then she was actually trying to challenge the girl to believe in herself. That look, she indeed is she's really worth it. Even though her friends didn't respect her, she really has something in her that her friends can respect. So she was trying to ask her what she can do to get to become fearless among her friends. She said, well, she could dance. And Nairobi's reaction was like, dance? Well, she didn't know how she could dance her way out of the situation, her current predicament, because her friends were molesting her, her friends were disrespecting her, they were beating her because she was the main reason why they had held them hostage, because she was the sure banker for Nairobi and her people. But then when Nairobi met her, she told her, look, there is something in you. There's something you can do for your friends to begin to respect you. Then she said she knows how to shoot, or she had learned how to shoot. And then Nairobi told her, to just, if you can recall, just look into the mirror and say, I am whatever it is, and I am something like that. Oh, I should have checked what she said. Oh, no. So you see how Nairobi empowered the governor's daughter to start believing in herself. And from there, we could see that she became a bit more confident in her dealings with the people in the place. The next thing was about Arturo. Arturo, the annoying character. I think the whole of Money Heist, Arturo is the most annoying character you can ever think of. Annoying, so annoying. You were sleeping with your secretary, she got pregnant, you're not ready to accept responsibility. The people came in, professors people came in, now the heist is going on, you guys are hostages, you and then he's trying to play the hero, trying to create all manner of situations. But actually he even did well with his annoying character. He was still able to create the situation or the environment for a few of them to escape. He could have been part of them, but then because of his own annoying things again, he couldn't join them. But at least a few of the hostages were able to escape because of Arturo. But then Arturo was the most annoying character. Can you imagine when he was shot and was almost dying? He was asking for his wife and being so. Now he remembered that he really has a wife that he has to love, and he forgot about Monica, who he had impregnated, who was in the same condition with him. Sorry. Probably, I think at that moment he thought Monica had died because, she had done something and she had been taken backstage, and then Denver, instead of killing her, didn't kill her, just shot her leg and all. So Arturo, and can you imagine, was it in episode, season 4 or season 5? No, season 4. Arturo, who from season 1, season 2, season 3 had become a celebrity out of the whole encounter, and then it was now going on stage telling people about his encounter from the heights and all that. Arturo now found a way to enter back into the bank where they were stealing the gold. Where they were stealing the gold, Arturo found a way to go back inside. How annoying could that be? And he went in there, he was still trying to be his old self. Arturo the hero. I pray they kill him before the whole Money Heist thing dies. But then Arturo was the most annoying character in Money Heist, and I believe that after the whole Money Heist ends, you can't forget Arturo. You can't forget Arturo. Arturo, the annoying guy. Oh no. The next thing was how the series took time to expose each individual's flaws. You realize that even though they were all trying to be strong and be the people who had the guns and doing all that, there was a way that the series, I think that those were the series were very good. They knew how to expose the weaknesses of all the characters. Tokyo, they exposed her weaknesses. Her weakness became Rio, or Rio became her weakness. So when Rio was caught, when they had escaped from the first heist, and then they had gone onto the island and they were living there, and she became unhappy. She wanted to go out. She went away. Rio gave her the phone that she should call, blah blah. When Rio was caught, you could see that Charlie, that was her real weakness. She couldn't stay away, and then she had to now go and look for the professor. The professor had to call the other people. They had to come together and go and rob just to get Rio to be released to come back to her. So her weakness, Tokyo's weakness. Even Rio, when the Inspector Raquel was coming into the royal mint, and then she came in with a microphone. There was a message in there that was sent for Rio specifically because they knew he would find that message, and they knew that message would be a weakness. It was something that would get him to easily sell out his friends in the heist. So each character's weakness was exposed during the series. You could remember Raquel. Raquel, you have been played, you have been misused, you have been abused, you have been taken advantage of by Professor, and you have finally caught Professor to be the one against the whole thing. Instead of you to easily either shoot him or take him straight to the police station so that you could have justice with him, she wanted to find a way to, avenge whatever he has done to her, and try to get answers to whatever how he did whatever he did. You realize that she took him to their hideout where they went to be prepared for 5 months. She took him there and tried to, query him and blah 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 blah. And that was how Professor was able to escape from her grips. And it was because she had a weakness. She had fallen so much in love with Professor that she just couldn't believe that she allowed herself to be played by Professor. So when she caught that he was a real person behind the whole thing, she just couldn't bring herself to the point that she would send him to be arrested. So she wanted to get answers, and in order to get the answers, Professor escaped from her. So the way they exposed every individual's flaws and weaknesses in Money Heist, it was a very good thing. The last thing was how they bagged Inspector Angel's eyeglasses. how they bagged Inspector Angel's eyeglasses. You realize that when he came in with the doctors to come and check on Arturo when he was shot, when they went to check up, when they gave out all their eyeglasses and everything, they put a microphone in his eyeglasses or in his spectacles, and he was unaware of it. So when he finally went out, now that became a way of Professor eavesdropping on all the conversations they were having as police officers. He was able to eavesdrop on everything. So anytime they planned something, before they could execute, Professor had gone behind them to the point where Raquel thought there was a snitch amongst them, and then now she started confiding in only Angel. And then the same person she was confiding in was the same person whose eyeglasses had been bagged. And the professor was getting all the information from the same person. So finally, when he did something, when he went somewhere, and then it looked like now Raquel became so sure that look, I think it's Angel who is giving all the information away, because he and I are the only ones who had this information. And so if anyone could have leaked the information, then it is probably Angel. And we see how that affected Angel, how he was drinking, how he got an accident, and all that. So these are 7 interesting things that happened in Money Heist that made the series very interesting. As a matter of fact, it is not over yet. In November or December or so, I think, the final part will come, and we'll get to see whether indeed Tokyo died in the season 5 or whether it was just a plot or something, whatever it is. But I am praying. I don't know what your prayer is. Whatever you are praying to happen in the final season, kindly comment down. What is your final expectations of the final episodes? Kindly comment now. But I'm expecting that some way, somehow, Tokyo shouldn't die. Tokyo shouldn't die. Please, please, please. Directors of Money Heist, Tokyo shouldn't die. When you come back in December, find a way to let us see that Tokyo didn't die, and we'll be very happy. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Street Sense with me, Maxwell Mensah. If you love this episode and you want me to do more of movie reviews and all, kindly leave a comment and I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you. If you'd like to subscribe, kindly subscribe now, and I will see you on the next episode.